Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dinos Stranomitis from Altenar. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. Altenar is a sports betting solution provider. We provide complete sports betting to across the world in the operators. And I would like to invite you to listen a very interesting discussion between some prominent providers when it comes to data. So stay with us. It's coming. Good morning, guys. We have a nice opportunity today to discuss a little bit about what's trending in the sports betting and what pandemic had made things changing all over the world. And we have some interesting people around. I think, let me introduce you, Shane Gannon, is from Stats Perform. Shane, would you like a few words about you, please?
Yeah, thanks, Dinos and Carl and Yoav for joining the call this morning. So I'm Shane Gannon. I'm SVP at Stats Perform. I'm in our commercial betting division, so I work on distributing our content out to all of our betting operators and B2B pricing providers and platform providers. Been working at Stats Perform for I think maybe 7 or 8 years, and previously had worked on the operator side as a sportsbook manager at Sportingbet briefly, and then about 6 years as a trader at Paddy Power before it became Paddy Power, Betfair and Flutter and so on. And yeah, I work across our commercial division, but also quite closely with our rights team and also our product team, particularly on the data side of things. So sitting down to discuss, what we think we should be doing with our data products to make betting more interesting for our betting operators and more importantly, their customers.
That's fine, Shane. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And we have also Yoav from Israel. Good morning, Yoav, from Elsports. Would you kindly, a few words about you and your company, please?
Definitely, Dinos. Thanks. First of all, thanks for inviting me to this panel. So yeah, I'm Yoav. I'm VP Sales and Business Development at Elsports and Elvision. Elsports is one of the world's leading providers of real-time sports data. And Elvision is a sister company. It's like a sort of a spin-off we've made 2.5 years ago. Where we use computer vision and AI to create unique products mainly for the sports betting industry. And here together with my amazing team leading the sales worldwide, both for Elsports and Elvision.
Thank you so much, Yoav. You're very welcome as well. And we have, of course, Carl from Gaming Insider, who is organizing a little bit ourselves, and we make a nice production of this video. Carl, would you like to say a few words about?
Yeah, I'll just keep it short and sweet. My name is Carl Friedman. I'm the editor of Gambling Insider. And it's a pleasure to be a part of this, and hope we have a nice little discussion here.
Excellent. So my name is also Dinos Stranomitis. I'm trying also to run these questions, let's say. Of course, guys, feel free to comment on anything. It's on the benefit of this audience to have something out of it, a clue, let's say. And I'm going ahead, if you don't mind. I'll start with... you first, Shane, is Stats Perform. Okay, Stats Perform is a company with 2 different legs, I have to say, one in US, one in Europe. And I understand even with the US sports as well, but also with bet builder concept in the market, there is a demand when it comes to betting types for individual athletes or players.
Yeah.
I know that you are doing quite a lot of job on that. And I would like to understand what is the trend, how it's going with this data.
Absolutely. So this was something we started seeing a couple of years ago, and it wasn't necessarily just within the betting space. Generally, sports fans, as a result of the rise of social media, were becoming fans of individual players as much as they were becoming fans of teams. Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, is more Instagram followers than Real Madrid have, and we've seen a lot of trends along those lines. So with our Opta data service and Opta brand, we looked at the market and we thought, well, there's probably going to be a lot of interest in soccer for player prop style betting. Obviously, it is a relatively well-trodden path in US sports around prop style markets and basketball about rebounds and free throws and 3 points, but it hadn't necessarily been done in football. So Opta, who collect deeper data than anyone else in the industry, were particularly well placed to execute on this strategy. So we developed an in-play real-time data feed to deliver data points like shots on target, tackles, passes, offsides, to deliver that to operators, to allow them to create in-play and pre-match betting markets related to those kind of individual metrics. What's been really interesting and where it's been a great success is that Opta is both an incredibly accurate data source that is trusted by the operators, but it's also a really significantly well-known brand. Particularly in the UK last year, it was actually the fifth most well-known brand on Twitter. So it has, I think, over 1 million followers at the moment. So in providing this service to the betting operators, they can provide betting markets to their customers that their betting customers can trust. They can see and they know the outcome of a bet when they can also see the statistics on a match of the day or a beIN Sports or The Guardian, all the various different media channels. So it's been a really successful launch for us, probably circa 3 years ago. And we've seen some real innovation, not only in what we've provided, but what the betting operators provided as well. Sky Bet, who will probably be the first partner to really go with this, you know, and have done a really great job in it, particularly in a lot of their marketing promotions around bet boosts. You know, that has really boosted the profile of betting on these individual player markets. But we've also seen great uptake and more innovative products. You know, Ladbrokes have launched into a big marketing campaign around their five-a-side markets. We've also seen companies like BuzzSports launching first shot and individual markets like first left foot shot, right foot shot, headed shot. So there's a huge amount of individualization of opportunities there for a betting customer. What's also really interesting is as you know, marketing spend at an operator level it becomes more challenging. Trying to move customers away from low margin products to higher margin products like Request Bets and Build a Bet and ready-made multiples, incorporating more and more legs in a bet, more of these player type markets. It is allowing operators to acquire customers, entertain their customers, and do so with higher margin products. So that's been a great success for us on the soccer side, particularly.
Okay, I understand. Also, this bet builder that we also try to build in Altenar, using also coming with your data, absolutely. I think it will be something interesting. Everyone wants this customization.
Yeah, exactly.
And, let me, you know, we can discuss, of course, for many hours, I have to say, for this type of data.
Yeah.
But I want to move to Yoav because it looks like, you know, LSports Yoav, you have developed some kind of a niche product that is boosting the appetite for such kind of betting. Am I right? Can you please explain a little bit the concept and does it come trendy this year?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, totally agree with Shane in terms of you know, the needs of collecting new and unique data points in order to allow our customers in the sports betting industry to overperform. And this is something we put a lot of emphasis in when talking about LVision, again the sister company for LSports, but same group. And yeah, you're definitely right. So one of probably the latest product that we've launched was a few months ago, and it's called Bet Booster. And Bet Booster is an AI-based product for betting tips. So it's a combination of AI analyzing historical data, combining it with live incidents that happens right now during the game, and then we have a fully automated system that generates out of it betting tips both for pre-match and in-play. And the best thing around this product, which is probably the next hottest trend in the industry, is around personalization.
Yeah.
So, you know, everything today almost worldwide is personalized. If you buy on Amazon or if you search on Google, everything is personalized. I think the sports betting industry is lacking personalization. And this is something we're now putting a lot of emphasis on, creating personalization algorithms. So if we drill down a bit deeper into this product, so for example, we have it now on some big customers like, I don't know, STS with exclusivity in Poland, and LVBet and Eurobet, which are owned by Betson and others. So our product is acting as sort of a web component, and once it's placed on the operator pages, okay, so we start collecting data anonymously on the players that are using the widget, okay? And then after, let's say, I don't know, 30 to 60 days, different players, different punters can see different betting tips. Okay, so we have different layers of personalization. It can be personalized according to the players' betting habits. So if someone usually likes to play a Premier League Asian handicap market, so we will mainly see such tips, or tips for other Premier League games, or tips for other Asian handicap in Tier 1 leagues, for example. So it can be either the player's betting habits, it can be personalized according to the country he's coming from, to his language, to IP, and to many other different layers, in order to make it much more engaging, and of course to support the turnover increase of the customers.
It's clear. Okay, thanks, Yoav. I'm happy actually to see that there are prominent companies in the market, in the industry, that they try to create something new and go deeper, especially when it comes to data and how to attract also users. Also, the idea of getting this panel, and I'm coming to another important question that both of you, I would like to get your insight, let's say, is that in Altenar we have seen last 12 months, actually it's almost 12 months now, or already 12 months, that we're experiencing this new environment. And what happened, we've seen all of a sudden last year, the world to be frozen, then start melting again, a little bit back. However, no one dares to go out. We see empty stadiums. We see many things. We see a lot of challenge between official and unofficial data. We have experienced that electronic leagues, short-term, maybe even some games that does not take too much to take a lot of action, more or less. So in Altenar, we had to reprioritize too many things. And if you see the roadmap, how it was looked like last year, and what's the roadmap this year, say, wow, it looks like we moved 10 years ahead.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome. So I may say, okay, guys, saying just for the benefit of the order, I'm sorry for that, you could do that as well if you want to comment. I say, in StatsPerform, what has changed? What kind of reprioritization, what kind of reshuffling you have done because of all this pandemic, all this situation?
Yeah, I think there's a few things, and you touched on a few different areas in that question, Dinos. I mean, first regarding, no fans in stadium and data collection, luckily we, for the past 10 years have been investing heavily in official data rights worldwide. So, we've been able to continue to go in stadium where we've had official agreements and still been able to continue to deliver a top quality product to customers. Obviously, where that hasn't been possible, we do need to adjust our working operations and our controls around how we collect. From TV pictures, it's not an ideal scenario for ourselves or the operators, but working in tandem with the operators, we've managed to implement new controls and checks and processes to ensure that we can deliver the best possible product. Regarding how our roadmap looks, we're three suppliers here, so we have to listen to our customers and what has gone on. Obviously, we needed to be very agile last year. When we were all sat at ICE in February of last year, we probably had very different plans for the year than in comparison to how it unfolded. Yeah. We're a business who are very heavily invested in rights, and immediately what we looked to do was to try and find more content, because in March, April and May, operators were just screaming out for content. And we went out there and we acquired more content. We acquired good content. We all know, we've seen the reports that certain sports massively over-indexed and so on. So what we need to do is be agile in the short term. What I would say about what our roadmap looks like then is does it look different? Yes, maybe a little bit, but I also think how the operators have come out of 2020 shows that there is a little bit more normality coming back. Yes, there was demand for more esports. There was demand for more table tennis. But, we needed to make decisions around whether we solely focus on that, and is that just going to be something short term, or do we see those trends continuing? And I think we've probably made a relatively sensible decision in not shifting our priorities massively away from what our customers have been looking for 15 years in the time we've been delivering them products, and what they're looking for now. We still believe our strategy are right around our approach around official rights, around what we've done with the WTA, around what we're doing with player betting, and we're just looking to grow and expand on those areas. Yes, esports was very popular, and FIFA and NBA and things like that, but we made a decision. We did some analysis on it, and we sort of thought, well, yes, we could spend a lot of time looking at that, but is that at the danger of derailing what your core strategy is and what we think our customers will be looking for longer term?
Absolutely.
Was the ability to go into table tennis in these niche markets, did that teach you that given these extreme circumstances, that you were able to adjust and be nimble, and once we come out of that, you can still have access to those markets but still broaden your scope in normal times?
Yeah, it does, but what the pandemic showed is that every part of the ecosystem and the supply chain needs to be pragmatic and work together, be that the sporting bodies and their approach to doing deals to suppliers like us to operate it ourselves, and that cuts across everything, not just the rights we're going out and acquiring, but how you're managing customers. Because I don't think, whilst there were some worrying times, I think everyone believed that the betting industry was going to come through the pandemic. Sure. But it was just a case of how do we support these betting operators when cash flow was obviously a big problem last March, April, and May, and being able to supply them with additional content, during that period was really well appreciated.
Yeah.
We got to learn some things by trying out some new content, and as with everything, some works and some don't work, and you learn and you move on from there.
Absolutely. Okay, interesting. You have, well, I have to come back saying later on that with data, but
sure, yeah, absolutely.
How your roadmap looks like this year? What made you change things if you did?
Well, definitely. So I agree with Shane, smart guy. When COVID erupted, so on the short term, operators were mainly looking for coverage. Due to the lack of coverage, and since we have a big advantage because all our dev force is located in-house, and we've made some shift and some unique products. I think we've identified that the number one affected sports from this pandemic is tennis, because it's a sport that demands international traveling, etc. So no competitions at all. You can't even have there's nothing like a local competition for tennis, right? So immediately we focused on this sport, and one of the solutions that we introduced to the market was I think a first of its kind. It's a tennis simulator which is based on real-time historical data. So playing historical data in short formats, engaging formats, running 300s of these each day, 24/7. So we're talking about 9,000 live games, which is more than per month, which is more than all tennis competitions together can get. And it's really gained momentum, and we can even see these days when tennis is almost back to normal, we still have huge tier one operators that use our product, like Sportsbet.io and Leon and others. So I think this was one of the shifts that we've made that assisted us also to maintain customers and support customers during these rough times. In general, when we're talking about the roadmap, so yeah, definitely it made some changes. We decided to move further into the players engagement solutions, and as I mentioned before, personalization solutions. So yeah, it had a really significant impact on the roadmap, short and long term.
Okay, I'm sorry that I tried to get the secrets of your companies, guys. Okay,
but no secrets here.
What was interesting from last year, that it's purely a personal hypothesis in comparison to what what we might have seen had this happened 7 or 8 years ago is, you know, and rightly so, with more regulated markets, I think if this had happened 7, 8, maybe 10 years ago, there would have been even further uptake of more of the edge sports, or more of the simulated sports, or more of, you know, the lower tier content. But I think operators are, you know, certainly conscious of their local regulations, and certainly conscious of, you know, some of the press stories that might come out. So I think we potentially would have seen a lot more uptake. I think operators are rightly so now thinking about the quality of the content that they want to take in, and the quality of the content that they want to present to their customers, because, you know, certainly last year was and could have been an opportunity for, you know, operators to offer much lower tier content than, you know, they might do in normal circumstances, and that comes with integrity risk. So it's imperative at times like this for suppliers to understand that our operators want more content, but to deliver content in a secure fashion, which was certainly one of the learnings we had last year. Like a bit like you have, our product team were set to work on, right guys, here's some ideas, and we went and spoke to customers about various different ideas of, be it either simulation or historical events that we could rewrite. And you know, the response we were getting was that yes, they want content, but they just want to make sure that they're offering the right kind of content to their customers, which I think is something we probably wouldn't have seen 7, 8, 9 years ago, but it's definitely a right move, a move in the right direction for the industry.
So it's a mixture of quantity and quality. It has to be the right kind of content.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
You know, Carl, what I noticed actually, and guys, I say, in Altena, for example, we have seen a very clear trend that when it comes to the high-profile leagues, it is a necessity to move ahead with official data. You cannot really, trust me, you cannot even cover La Liga or Premiership or Italian Serie A if you just have TV pictures as a data. You must have a good quality first-hand data that gives you a lot of proper stuff. Same with US sports. Same goes with probably big Grand Slams. And then in the middle, there is a whole bunch of leagues that if it's not a local interest, it probably becomes a little bit less important and less interesting for the consumer. So if you have a Colombian-facing operator, Brazilian or Bulgarian or Swedish, the local stuff becomes important for them,
Of course.
not so important for the remaining of the audience, unless it is a time zone that helps.
Yeah, it has to be customized in that way, right?
Absolutely. And then you have in the bottom a number of new products, like the ones you mentioned, like table tennis or the tennis from L Sports, or all this stuff that it gives you a lot of content to bet on something that is short-term, fun, increase the adrenaline, and with this one we can go up to 40 or 45 or 50,000 events, live events per month, that it gives you two edges, the top quality, the lower stuff, and the middle, 3 different segments. And I have to say that unfortunately it looks like that some middle stuff, as I described that, is losing a little bit the battle. And I wonder, is this a trend? It will stay like that? It will be even further increase this particular idea? We see. I would like to have your opinion on that, actually.
Yeah, it'd be good to keep an eye on that. I mean, I think everything is still in such a state of flux right now. I mean, it would take a little bit of time to really cement the fact that it is a trend or not. I mean, we all the data has to be examined and kind of calibrated. But this is something we should certainly keep an eye on and look at in the coming months.
Excellent. Okay, guys, wrapping up this short discussion, I would like to see if you have any kind of final comments or something, saying, is everything okay?
Yeah, well, just even on the official piece there as well, Dinos. I think it's a really interesting point. I mean, we're very heavily invested in rights holder relationships, both at a video and a data level. And and we have been for a long time. But I think what's really important is for us as suppliers to ensure that we're not just utilizing the acquisition of official and or exclusive rights as an attempt to gain market share just as a function of going and doing that. I think what's really important for the betting operators is to ensure that there is innovation and quality products layered on top of the official rights, because going and acquiring official rights, perhaps in an exclusive fashion, and then going to betting operators with a subpar product is not what the betting industry needs. Official rights are here; they're a good thing. They're a good thing for funding sport. They're a good thing for betting operators. It's the most trusted data, but it needs to be done with quality data, and it needs to be done with sensible distribution models. What you may have seen this morning is interestingly, we've done a deal with Sportradar on the distribution of our WTA. There was a couple of interesting headlines which said fierce rivals, but what it came down to was a sensible conversation between two companies who could agree that broad distribution of official data is the best thing for the industry. And that's how we see the future of data rights.
I want to be the devil's advocate and go to you and say, like, for example, I heard in the past that sometimes unofficial data can become of a better quality compared to official. I'm referring, for example, FIFA or UEFA competitions. What's your opinion? Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, well, and that comes to the first point, that just because something is official doesn't mean it's better. It should be better, because being official, you have the advantage of being in stadium and having the fastest feeds. But what we need to ensure, and what operators want, is that these official rights are going to companies who have proven themselves to deliver top quality products. Because you're completely right, official badge without quality ability to collect and deliver data, and probably more importantly, broad distribution, because the operators want choice. Choice leads to innovation. So that's the crucial thing, really, from an official data standpoint, and that's what operators are looking for.
Do you see that has the implementation of VAR, has that added to the dynamic of products or things that you can do in in-play betting?
It's been a headache, Carl. It's been we're hopefully getting through it.
It's also customers' complaints mainly.
It's look, we're the kind of business that we run. We're obviously collecting data from hundreds of thousands of matches around the world with local people who know the local league information. But as new leagues were rolling out new rules and potentially implementing them in a different fashion, it was undeniably difficult, and it was a significant shift for any business that is going and collecting data. We're through all of that. I'd be lying. I think anyone from any sports data business would be lying if they said it was a smooth transition. But as the different leagues moved through, we were able to find ways to deal. The crucial thing, and one of the challenges, different operators have a different approach to risk. Some operators don't want to take any risk, and if there's any doubt about something, they want market suspended. Some operators want to, look to give their customers, 90 minutes uptime, so they want a slightly different approach. So it's about crafting new data points and processes to ensure you give those customers the options to deliver the kind of product to their customers that they want.
Do you feel that you're better off because of it now, having gone through that?
I mean, we are better off that it's done and dusted, and we don't need to think about it too much anymore.
Right.
As a football fan, I don't particularly love it, but it is, it's obviously something that various leagues decided they need to implement. So we just needed to make sure we could deliver the right product for the customers on the back of what the individual leagues were doing.
Okay. What do you think about all this unofficial versus official stuff?
I think it's less important. I think at the end of the day, it's all around the data. So I agree about that with Shane. As I see it, in the past, oil was the most important resources, and then it became real estate, and today data is the most important resources worldwide, and it's all around what you collect, the quality of the data, how you analyze it, and when it comes to business, what innovative solutions you deploy around it. So when it comes to us, we are an Israeli company. We come from the startup nation, and we are a big data /innovation/automation company. It's just the case that we are also sports freaks and we do it around sports betting. But as a base of things, we're a big data /automation company. We like to bring innovations to this industry as we do now. We like to bring some unique technology like the personalization we discussed around and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's all about what you do with the data, how you analyze it, and what innovative stuff you bring with it. That's it.
Understood. Okay, I think, gentlemen, we have a good, let's say, end of discussion. Carl, you want to make any last comment on your side?
I just wanted to say thank you very much for participating in this. I think we've really drilled down into some very important things, and equally important, it's good to keep an eye on how things progress, how these trends evolve, and certainly we'll be covering it in future editions of Gambling Insider.
Hopefully, yes. Well, in Altenar, we're all trying to bring the best from the best. So thank you so much coming here, and we speak again. Why not?
Thanks a lot, Dinos.
Thank you very much,
Have a
Dinos.
nice day.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Carl.
Okay.
See you soon.
See you.